And we are live. Hey, hello, everybody. My name is Philip Ailes. I'm the founder and CEO of Ailes Solutions here in Jacksonville, Florida. Today, I have Angelica Corral. I met her on Bringing Humanity Together. Uh, we've talked on a couple occasions, and I realized that wow, she is a phenomenal person, and I think our network needs to get to know her a little bit better. So, without further ado, Angelica Corral, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, shall I start with my childhood? Just
Sure,
kidding.
start wherever you want to start.
Just kidding.
It's an
No.
opportunity for the network to get to see you and what you have to offer and just the great things. Because in the future, I look at it as doing panels and of people that I've had these conversations with. So everybody's feeling more comfortable with them. And we can just have great conversations in a group. But yeah, let me know a little bit about you.
Okay. I live in Southern California. I'm originally from Northern California, by the San Francisco Bay Area. Grew up with my dad from El Centro, California, and my mom is from Mexico.
Oh,
So, yeah, so I speak Spanish. And I guess I could talk about a few things that I love. I love dancing. I love helping people. Uh, I love being able to connect with my friends here, like you, Philip. And just being a force for doing good in the world and helping others move forward. So that's a little bit about me. I love telling stories. I wrote a children's book.
oh, really?
Yeah,
I did
and
not know that.
I yeah, I
So
work. Go ahead.
tell us a little bit about your book.
The book is called Max's Treasure Hunt, and my son's name is Max, so I dedicated that book to him. It's about a pirate looking for treasure on every page, and it's a book for 3 to 5 year olds, and I think it's pretty uh, successful because the children like it. The
Yeah.
children, when I go into the schools and read it to them, they say, "Turn the page, turn the page." They want to know what's next.
So it's designed for small kids and
Yeah, it's
outstanding. What
yeah,
got
it's
you to write it? I mean, I know it's about your son, but what inspired you?
what inspired me was I was in college and the class teacher told all of us that we had an assignment and that was to make a children's book. So I went all out with it because I thought I want to make it in my college class. It's all about interaction with 3 to 5 year olds. So if you're just reading a book, that's okay. But when you're having children interact with the book, then they really get more out of it and it's more of an experience. And I'm all about the experience.
So the experience is what you cherish.
Yes. And watching the children's faces light up.
Really? What
Yeah.
about with the kids? How do they respond when you're actually reading it? How give me the immersive uh, experience of how they respond.
Okay. Well, first of all, what I do is I dress as a pirate.
Oh,
So
really? So envision.
they already know this is going to be special. This is different. You know what I mean? So I dress up as a pirate and I'm like, har, 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 mateys. I'm here. My name is Piratess Angelique, and I'm here to read to you about a book called Max's Treasure Hunt. So, I do the whole pirate thing. And I have a puppet that goes with it as well. So that's what I think really like brightens children's faces is the puppet as well because I could tell them something, but when Max the puppet tells them, they listen.
No, it's like being on watching Sesame Street.
Yeah, it really is.
And I think with that, kids feel a little bit more comfortable with the puppet. It relaxes them to where they don't see him as an authority figure.
I think you're right. And another thing I do is I actually, the way I introduce the puppet is I say, I have a friend that would like to join us in the room. Can he come? And everybody's like, yes, yes. And so I bring out the puppet. I go, it's Max. And then he goes around the room shaking each child's hand because I think it's really important for each child to feel like they're special. He took the time to say hello to each of them.
Oh, you're teaching him how to network
There you go.
at an
Networking
early
at a
age, and
That's
he
why I love
doesn't know.
networking so much. It's a natural thing for me.
Well, what is your thought on interacting with different people?
Oh, I love interacting with different people because I think each of us has a different story to tell and each of us has something to share that could bring value to the world. So why not meet other people and and like Max the puppet, I want everybody to feel welcome and special because everybody is.
You're creating long-lasting memories for these children.
10:08 a.m.
Oh, it might have been my watch.
That's okay.
But no, and that's what drives you. And why did you get into the bringing humanity together?
Because I think bringing humanity together is a special thing. All of us have something to offer in that group, and um, I love the respect that everybody is shown in the group, and the kindness, um, and how all of us can brainstorm and work as a team. I love the teamwork, and each person is shown that respect, and we have a lot of fun in there.
Do you feel like you learned something from it?
I do learn something from it, and one of the things that I learned is being a leader um, is also being a team member. You're not like above everybody else, but you are on the sidelines working along with your team. So I see that with Chris and everybody in there because everybody in there is a leader.
Well, and so you feel there's great collaboration.
I feel there's great collaboration. I feel there everyone has wonderful ideas that they share, and it's kind of cool to hear what each person's ideas are on how to make the effort move forward and become more successful.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's definitely a big part of how you grow and develop in yourself because if you think you know everything, you know nothing
You're right
because
about that.
it's impossible to know everything. And I like the different perspectives that each of the individuals give because I can't tell you how it's like to be Angelica.
Hmm.
And you can't tell me how it's like to be me because we're two different people, two different separate universes that just share the same timeline. And being able to express that and everything uh, is, I think that's what brings us together. And because hearing your viewpoint of it, of the same situation, it'd go, you know what, I could follow that. And next thing you know, you have another way to handle the situation that you're faced with.
I like the way that you put it that we're two different people in a universe in the
Excuse me.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
in the,
And
in the in the
that's
same
what people have
timeline.
to,
What's
yeah,
that?
what people have to understand
Yeah.
is We're different. Excuse me again.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're different because you're sneezing and I'm not.
exactly. You're in San Diego and I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. You talk about opposite ends of the country.
And you know the cool thing is we're in different timelines. We're in this vast universe. So it's kind of like being here on this podcast together is like a miracle. We have a
Yes.
small miracle each day when we can have the time to speak to someone. And why not make a miracle a greater miracle by making a difference in people's lives? So you're doing that for me right now, Philip. Thank you.
Well, I greatly appreciate that because I think you do it from me as well. And the energy that I get from this conversation is you're laid back.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're
you could tell
chilling.
I got the California vibe going, dude.
You're like, I'm in paradise. Where do I need to be a rush to?
Yeah. Well, I do have later on today, I'm gonna miss our Bringing Humanity Together meeting because I have another meeting. But yeah, I think we really need to be present with every single day that we're living and really cherish the relationships that we build and the people that we're talking to at that moment, not be thinking about, oh, I got the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah. Because did you ever find yourself living in the future?
You mean stressing out about it? You
Or
can.
just worrying, not being in the moment and so focused on work and what you needed to accomplish?
Yeah, I've done that. I think we need to set a time for certain things and live it presently because then we could focus more on what we're doing. It's kind of like when you're multitasking, you can
Mhm.
multitask, but it's not going to be as good a job. Like right now, if I was multitasking while talking with you, that wouldn't be doing a good job because I wouldn't be focusing on my attention, right? I'd be
Yes.
doing something else and you'd be like, "Wait a minute, you're not paying attention to me." Right? On the phone and saying, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Answering your question and answering somebody else's, it doesn't work. You got to really be present in the moment, really make a difference.
What does that feel like for you?
Being present in the moment feels like listening to the other person and trying to understand where they're coming from, like your point of the universe. That's I like that because we're really small on this planet Earth, and sometimes we make other things big. We'll make mountains out of molehills, right? When we don't really need to. So I think when we look at that perspective, even like if we have a problem, right? I remember one time I was focusing on a problem, and I was taking a drive through. I had to go pick up my son in La Jolla. He was going to Muirlands Elementary in La Jolla, and I was focusing on this problem, stressing out, and as I was going up the hill and going down the hill,
Yes.
saw this big ocean. And I said in my and that looking at that ocean and looking at that creation made me think, hey, it's really small in comparison to everything else. You're really making a big deal out of what it really is. Because looking around at that ocean, I saw, wow, and then looking at its beauty, my mind went somewhere else. So I
Yeah.
got the California vibe going, dude. No.
Well, I've been to San Diego. It's beautiful. My
Well, I
daughter,
think I think
yeah,
Florida's beautiful too, though. I've been to Florida and I love it too.
yeah, but the food's different. California, I mean, if you like avocados, you like all kinds of, there's so much of our produce comes out of California.
Yeah.
And you know, some of the best food I've had is in California because it's so fresh.
Mhm.
and everything's allowed to ripen on the vine versus uh, being cut early and ripening in a truck, because it's pulling all those nutrients and everything out of the soil and just making the flavors pop.
Mhm. You're making me hungry.
So tell me about a little bit about what you do now.
So what I do now is I have I have my own business on the side that I'm working on, but I also work as a social media marketer, a multimedia marketer for Neighborhood House Association Head Start. So I help families fulfill their dreams. So the families I help are families that are disadvantaged, low income families. Uh, we have a program called Head Start, and that's the program I work in. And what it does is it provides early child care for children while the parents are out working. Like, let's say they are working at McDonald's, they wouldn't be able to pay for child care, right?
Because childcare costs as much as they're making.
Exactly. You might as well not work, right? So the federal government has this free helps with this free program, and they give us a grant. And what it does is we provide the free childcare. Not only that, we give the children food. And
Nutrition.
yeah, they need, because some of these families they might not be having, they might have not eaten before going to child care, right? Another thing we provide is education for the children. So the children are learning. They're not just sitting around just doing nothing. The teachers are trained how to interact. That hence my book on interacting with the
Yes.
children. It's all about the relationship.
Yeah.
So the most important thing that the teachers focus on is building that relationship with the children first and the parents. So both of those things take place, and we offer free trainings for the parents on how they can become leaders in the community and how they can become better parents. Understand, um, if a children is small and let's say he drinks he's taking a sip from his milk and it falls on the table, the child is just learning how to drink from the cup, right? So are we going to yell? No. We teach them how to speak to the children in a way that's going to be effective communication for them so that they can be more better speakers, so that they could be successful, so that they can be happier, because if you're stressed out you can't be happy. It's hard to be stressed out and happy at the same time. So those are some of the things that we want to teach the parents.
So what I hear, you guys help disadvantaged families to gain, to have resources that are available to push them, give them a hand up rather than a handout, because your ultimate goal is to make them self-sufficient.
Yes,
And what
definitely.
are the parent, what are the type of training that they get for parenting?
So that some of the parenting trainings that they get is positive parenting
Hmm.
and how to be a positive parent. So instead of yelling, "Hey, don't do that," you
Which
can
is
which
actually, doesn't it, isn't it more of a natural instinct?
that's a natural instinct because that's how our parents taught us. We are creatures of habit, right?
Yes.
So in order to change those habits, we need to learn a new habit. So we teach them how to redirect the child. Instead of saying, "Don't run in the house," we tell them what to do. So use your walking feet.
Yeah.
Use your walking feet, so then they know what to do. So you're guiding them in a way that is a positive way, and it also helps them b- uh, listen, helps them not to be stressed out, and also helps with their communication skill because now they're not going to be yelling as well because they copy what their parents do. And another thing that we're teaching is wellness. We have a wellness program where I'm also a character. The character I play is Wendy Wellness.
Wendy Wellness.
Wendy Wellness, yes. So Wendy Wellness has goes to the different Head Start sites, and we promote our website, uh, which is the Family Wellness Toolkit that helps.
Mhm.
It's a free toolkit that helps families do activities with their children. So they start off learning breathing techniques. So those breathing techniques help them to calm down. So let's say the child is stressed out. So they're learning at an early age how to control their emotions, which is cool, right?
So you're teaching them basically self-awareness.
Self awareness, mindfulness, so that
Yes.
they know what to do when they're feeling stressed out. So it's a good program because a lot of the parents tell me that the kids bring out the mat in the morning with their
Hmm.
parents and they'll do their breathing exercises. Which if when they do those breathing exercises and they practice that, imagine they're already learning what to do if they're stressing out instead of lashing out at people and or getting violent or anything. They have already a mechanism, a solution to how they're going to react because it's all about how we react, right?
Yes. How you process information off your intelligence, your bias, your experiences, your feelings, all that plays a part into creating behavior.
I even made a little Wendy Wellness
You made the Wendy Wellness what?
rap. Let me
Rap.
let
Oh,
me
you
do
got to do it.
I
Let's
got
do the
to.
rap.
All
Let's
right.
do the
So
rap.
it's in the form of Curtis Blow. I don't know if you remember Curtis Blow. These are
I
the
know.
breaks. Okay, so it's breathe in and out, everybody. Everybody breathe in and out.
Oh, I know.
I'm Wendy Wellness. I want you to know what wellness is all about. So that's just the introduction. And then there's more to it, but we'll do that another time.
So I take it you have a lot of patience.
I try to have patience because it's necessary in life. It's necessary.
And I think when you go in with that excitement and then this calmness about you, you're like, "Well, I don't want to worry about anything, even
My
though it happens."
Yeah. Yeah, because I've had people tell me, I think even my grandmother or a friend told me, we are worrying about this right now, but 5 years from now, you're going to be laughing about this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, you got to look. I spent the night in jail. That's well. What did you learn from it? I learned I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
But
or,
these are
or go ahead. What were you going
yeah.
to say?
I had somebody's using a blower outside the house.
Oh, that always happens, right? When you're doing
Exactly.
filming or something, it's like, okay, this is a perfect time. Yeah, another thing that happens with worry is you worry that something's going to happen and it doesn't happen. So you just
Mhm.
wasted time. You just wasted life worrying.
For something you
Yeah.
had no control over.
Yeah, you could have done something better during that time, right?
Yeah, you know what? I respect what you're doing for kids because this is what I do. That's what I do for adults. I help them for veterans, first responders, and law enforcement to get out there, break through that trauma, and realize you made it through. From here on out, you don't have to deal with that anymore. And I think you bring that with you, and with you being fun and then calm and patient and chilled and having that vibe. I think kids could pick that up really easily.
Mhm. Uh, um, I'm gonna be interviewing a guy, speaking of trauma, that was a hostage for 5 years in
It's
Venezuela.
tough.
Yeah, so he's gonna talk about how he dealt with it. So, but I think that'd be cool for you to be on board with that too, because that's what you do, right? And
Mm,
I work with parents as well and try to teach them, the positive. So I'm doing a room on how to be an effective communicator to your children.
mhm,
So, and the room is pretty cool because I have a lot of educators that will be talking about how to speak your child how to speak to your children so that they listen and put yourself in the place. Interestingly enough, last week we had a woman that talked about an issue she was having with her son, who's a teenager,
mhm.
and she's a single mom. So I was a single mom too. Well, still am. He's 25 now.
Your son's 25. Max is 25 now?
He's he's 25 now. Yeah,
Wow. It's as
yeah.
old as my kids.
But she was talking about an issue that she had, and it was really cool because she wanted. She said, "I don't know how he thinks because he's a son, and I don't know how a male thinks." And so we had three different men um, give their remarks, give their comments
Mhm.
on their outlooks, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, and it's that communication end of it because what I found out a lot of times kids assume,
Mhm,
and wow, being able to teach them at a young age to breathe and be in the moment and realize there are solutions and they don't have to think of them by themselves.
mhm,
They
mhm.
can ask somebody
Yeah.
and take a lot of that stress away. And I see where that is beneficial. Do you feel that you make a difference?
Oh yeah. I think like you said, kids assume, parents assume too, right?
You're not
Because
gonna get it.
we have teenagers, and when you have a teenager, you do a lot of assuming. Well, you being disrespectful, you're doing this and you're doing that. But the interesting thing that I've been learning is on in regards to effective communication is that um, and I don't know if I mentioned this in one of the growing humanity, but I want to give an experience about a woman that would always be there for her child when she had a tantrum, and she'd
Mhm,
let her child go out back and kind of calm herself for a while, and so her child would get a lot of different tantrums, and I don't know how old the child was. Usually in Head Start, though, with when children have tantrums, we're there by the side of the child, comforting them. And so I thought that this was a different scenario on how the mom, she would just let the child go in the back, and she'd come back to get her child and bring her back in. And at one time, the child said, "Mom, you forgot to bring me back in." And she said, "Don't ever do that, please." And so one of the things she learned from that is, she said she'd never do that again. But teenagers, they act like they don't want to be bothered, right?
yes. They're
They're
like,
like,
uh, they're too cool for everything stupid.
"Oh, are you kidding?" I would pass into my son's room, and he would say, "What are you doing?" "You're in my room, Mom." And I would say, "Oh, I thought I was paying the rent here." But there's something else, right? But,
Yes.
but what happens is we might let them go off on their own and not we have to be in it with them. like that lady that just let her child deal with her tantrum alone. We got to be there with the kids and show that we are there for them
I could have
because
used you when I was 3 because I look at it now and wow, if I would have known that, had that skill as a young child, my life would have been completely different. I would have made so many better choices and everything.
yeah,
But hey,
I think all of us would have. It
so we're
was
getting
a
close to
different
the
time.
time. Yeah, we're getting close on time.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is real quick, just uh, what last message do you want to give to those that can do better communication and everything and how to be in the moment?
Oh, well, the message I could give is that, first of all, you matter as a person, um, and that I love you because
Love.
it's for real. Love is the real thing, and that's it's more powerful than anything. And sometimes people don't see that and think, ah, that's weakness. No, love is strength. And also, I would say, um, if I could help you in any way, just contact me, and I would love to link up with you and have a conversation as to how I could help you. Uh,
How do they get a hold of you?
they could get a hold of me on LinkedIn, Angelica Corral on LinkedIn, or also I'm on Instagram and TikTok as Cheeky Callie.
Hold on. Uh, you're on
Or
LinkedIn.
mhm.
Okay.
Another way is my email, Angelica Corral at me.com. So
At
that's
me.com.
uh-huh. So that's pretty easy. Because Cheeky Callie is kind of hard. And I'm on Facebook as well as Angelica Corral.
Okay. Well, you know what? I learned a lot from you today about you and what you're doing and your passions and what you're doing with kids are phenomenal. Is a phenomenal program to where we need that in our today's society of we're
Thank
in
you.
the information age and technology and we're overwhelmed with information.
Yeah, you're right about that.
But I greatly appreciate you being here, and I look forward to future conversations with you. And I'm glad that you're out there doing great and wonderful work for people in your community.
Thank you, Philip. Well, I think you're doing great and wonderful work too, and I'm glad that you invited me here on this program, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with you in the future because there's always something that we could do to help each
Yeah,
other out.
I love your laid back attitude and your way of communicating.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. Well, thanks to everyone for joining in today. And like I said, this is Angelica Corral. She's from San Diego. If you're wanting to look at her, it's Angelica uh, Corral at me.com.
Mhm.
And hopefully she can help you out or, you know what, just be a part of something that's bigger than you. Thank you for watching. And I look forward to my next conversation.